Welcome to this month's Tech School, where Chef Cassie Viers takes us through some tricks and techniques that generally are not attempted by the home cook, but you are going to kind of explain to us how we can achieve restaurant-style results at home.
Yes.
And this is a French technique for cooking eggs.
Yes.
And it's the
65-degree egg. These are becoming very popular. They've been all over Europe for a while now. It's coming to the United States. You most often hear it called a 1-hour egg or a 2-hour egg.
Okay.
And that's referring to how long it was cooked, because you can cook it for an hour, you can cook it for 4 hours, depending on how you want it done.
And it's important to point out that you don't get the same result here cooking in a dry oven for an extended period of time as you do just popping the egg in boiling water.
Not at all. When you put it in, it's a dry cooking technique. When you put it in the oven, we're cooking very low, very slow. It's 65 degrees Celsius, which we're going to be dealing in Celsius for today. Since it is a French cooking technique, they deal in Celsius, so we stay true to that when we talk about cooking eggs. For the record, it's 149 Fahrenheit.
Here we have the hour-and-a-half egg on the plate. So what is the technique for removing the egg from the shell by keeping it? I mean, this is like a gorgeous white dome. It's perfect.
It is. It's perfectly egg-shaped, so you have to be very careful. You don't want to crack it on the counter. You don't want to crack it on the side of a bowl. I use the backside of a butter knife and just gently tap, 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 brush away any excess shell pieces that might have come off. Very gently peel off one side of the shell, peel off the top, and very, very gently release it down to the plate, and you'll get an egg-shaped egg. All right, real quick, we're going to throw together the French toast. We're going to start with a day-old baguette, and we are going to make up a real quick French toast batter.
Okay.
We've just got a cup of milk. Do you want to put 2 eggs in there for me?
Sure.
We've got some freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano. Just going to dump that in. Salt and pepper, because again, it's savory. All right, so once that's whisked together, we're just going to pour it over the French toast, and we're going to set it aside. We're going to let it soak up all that mixture for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we'll make our bacon vinaigrette. When you go to the magazine or online, you're going to find a couple different techniques for making this egg. Toaster oven was the #1 technique, and when I put it in the toaster oven, I do bake it in a water bath.
Okay.
Because what happens is if somebody opens the front door and a cold gust of air comes in, that temperature in the toaster oven is going to fluctuate. And so the water bath is very important when using the toaster oven, because water isn't going to change temperature as quickly as the oven will. I've got a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. We are going to put a tablespoon of Dijon mustard in there. Season it with a little salt and pepper. Now we are going to slowly whisk in our olive oil. You want to pour that in while I whisk. And we are making our emulsified vinaigrette. Now go ahead and do the same with that leftover bacon fat. While that butter melts, we'll talk a little bit more about the egg. Another technique for the home is a crock pot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, this is very delicate. I probably went through 5 dozen eggs trying to find the best technique for the home cook to use.
Which I think people need to know that this is not something that is easily achieved.
No, this isn't off-the-hip cooking. This
Right.
took some time and some research to figure out how to do this at home without that immersion circulator, without a fantastic oven like we have today.
Okay.
But just filled the crock pot up with some water. I put my instant read thermometer in there. Once it reached 49, I adjusted the temperature a little bit. Get a nice brown finish on there. Flip it over. All right, and we're gonna grab our egg from the oven.
Okay.
I'm just gonna garnish it with a couple of pieces of that crisp bacon from earlier. You can put some extra Parmesan cheese on top.
Yum.
And there's your lunch.
It's amazing how simple, yet how totally complicated this is. But if you get it right,
It's delicious, it's magical.
you can't recreate that luxurious texture with any other way of cooking an egg. And now that it's egg season, I mean, this is the perfect way.
Go home, play with it, try to make one, and once you've got it, you'll be able to do it again.